Hey there, and welcome back to Cosmic Crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, the big dog. Let's go. Okay, welcome back. All right, we're going to go over Bitcoin here, and I'm going to start us off here on the weekly time frame. Things are not looking terrible. I mean, some people are still calling for 10,000. I just don't see that. Weekly time frame, you can see that we were in this falling wedge pattern, and we've been in this kind of upwards channel here for quite some time. And you know what I always like to point out in these triangle patterns, falling wedges, channels, whatever, is we're looking for open space. Okay, so what that means is you're touching the channel here, you're touching it here, you got the center right here, you touch the bottom here, touch the top. We'll go through this, excuse me a second. Touch, didn't touch there, but you almost touched right here, but you didn't. Okay, here's an open space I'm talking about. Okay, so you came up, you touched this line here. Then you came back down and you tried to go up again. And let me remove this so you can see it better. The open space I'm talking about is right here. We had an attempt to go back up and retest this channel line here, and there was not enough momentum to reach it. And as you can also see down here on the RSI, you had a divergence. You had higher highs on the RSI, or you had highs over here on the RSI, and you had a higher high on the price, but a lower high on the RSI over here. You also had a bearish divergence on the trend directional here. That was just screaming, we're going to fall down even lower. So there's the open space I'm talking about there. Now let's move to the open space down here. So as you can see, we've touched this channel already 2 times down on the bottom. But when we came over here in this falling wedge, we didn't quite make it. We had the open space, which means that the bulls, in my opinion, this is what this means, is the bulls are in control. So the bears are trying to push us down, and they were trying to get us down to this channel line here is what they were trying to do, preferably to push us even lower. But they were not able to do that, which is why we have this open space. The bulls stepped in. We formed this bullish divergence here on the RSI. So you can see we've got higher low here on the RSI, but we've got a lower low here on the price. So on the weekly time frame, we were forming a bullish divergence while we were in this falling wedge here. We broke out of this falling wedge, came back down, and retested it with a very high wick here, retested that wedge as now support, along with retesting at this 236. This Fibonacci is drawn from the top down to the bottom. We came up, we broke above the 236, held that as support, had a big move because we were kind of getting squeezed here in a broadening wedge. Which I talked about in previous videos. So right here, we were getting squeezed in a broadening wedge between the 200 EMA on the weekly and the falling wedge line right here. Finally had the break above the 200 EMA, which was a very good move. Broke above that 236, but now we needed to retrace back down. And what did we need to do since we broke above it? We needed to come back down and retest the 200 EMA, which is what we're doing right now. So we tested it. We tested it again, and now we're moving back up. And currently, we are in another falling wedge of sorts. So if we go to the daily time frame, you can see that we're in this falling wedge right here. We retested the 200 on the daily, held that as support. Now what we'd like to see is a continuation to break out of this falling wedge. And we did get the green dot here on the trend directional, which is a good sign. But we are holding beneath the 50 on the RSI. This needs to get above the 60 level, which is this blue box right here. So the RSI, I'd like to see it get above that 60 level, which would give us that push out of there. And the volume would need to increase a little bit higher, kind of like it did over here. So you can see that we were in this broadening wedge here, and the volume was kind of just going along, and then all of a sudden when we broke out, we had a massive move in volume right here, which pushed us above those areas I talked about earlier. And so I'd like to see that again. I'd like to see that volume come and push us. The one good thing about this move is we did get into the oversold here on the, overbought here on the RSI, came back down, and we are holding support at the 40 level, which is a good sign. That's a bullish sign. That means that the bulls are still in control. Even though we're falling to the downside, the bulls are still in control because the bears have not been able to push us down beneath into the oversold area. And so I am looking for a continuation coming up here. I saw that BlackRock is trying to approve an ETF right now for Bitcoin. And if that happens, yeah, we're going to see something probably similar to this right here, is a massive breakout to the upside, which it's really interesting because I've been looking at this back in our previous run here. And I feel like we're doing kind of something similar here where we go up, you have a big push back down, we kind of go sideways, and then right now we're in a falling wedge, but in this instance we were in a kind of a wedge here, or a triangle, I guess you could say a triangle. So we did a triangle right here, and then we had a blast off to the upside. This was the retrace back down to retest that 200. We didn't quite get there because we were extremely bullish. And again, in the RSI, you can see that we held the 40 basically, and we're fighting against the 50 here. But then once this triangle broke out, and we got above the 50 line, and then broke above the 60, retested the 60 on the RSI. Let me get pen tool here so you can see that. So we broke out, retested the 60, and then we had a massive move. And from there on out, we just kind of held up here in the overbought area for quite some time because we were having a massive push. And I'm kind of hoping that that's going to happen again. So we've got the triangle back here, the breakout, lots of similarities with what's going on currently. But this time it's not a triangle pattern. This time we had that broadening wedge here and into a falling wedge after we retested the 200. We're holding between the 40 and the 50 right now, and we're waiting for that breakout to happen on this falling wedge. That's pretty much what I got for Bitcoin. Obviously, if we fall below and break down from this falling wedge, the next line of support is going to be around the $22,000 area. If it does get to that $22,000 area, I'm going to expect a very large wick to the upside coming from there. There's probably going to be a lot of buy volume down. I mean, even at the $23,000 area, I think there's going to be a lot of buy volume just based on, if you look back here, we've got, let's go to the weekly time frame. We've got lots of support right here at the 24,400, which we didn't quite get there. And then we've got plenty of support all along in this area, plus the Fibonacci of the 236. So I'm kind of expecting I'm expecting a breakout to the upside, but if you are looking to the downside, I'd be looking for support around that 24,400 and then the 22,000 area, but I don't think that that's going to last long. That's going to be bought up pretty quick. So just, yeah, pay attention to those levels. The next target I have for Bitcoin is going to bring us up to the 0.5 fib here, which is right around that 32,600. Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and like it, share it, do all that other stuff, and I'll talk to you later.